Thanks to PDX Design Month, Ventura Castro, and AIGA Portland for having me out to discuss the Trimet Hispanic Heritage Month Lift Bus Wrap for 2025. I'm David DaCosta. I'm an art director, designer, illustrator, author, and dad. I've been here in Portland working for startups and freelancing on brand and marketing projects for the last 10 years. I'm excited to share the inspiration, process, and execution of my Hispanic Heritage Month Lift Bus design project with Trimet. So, what's a lift bus? Trimet has a fleet of smaller buses equipped to help differently abled folks get around town. Trimet has an artist program for lift buses, and they reached out to me to design the Hispanic Heritage Month lift bus for 2025. I had a couple of goals with this project. The first was to represent, celebrate, and encapsulate the Hispanic American experience. My other goal was to share and inspire creativity with anyone who comes in contact with the bus, regardless of age or background. The challenge that I had was, how do I represent such a wide variety of experiences, cultures, and visual characteristics? I'm just one person from a specific background, and there's so many different Hispanic backgrounds and experiences. This is where the classic imposter syndrome comes in. My Spanish is just okay. I'm not the best salsa dancer. I've never been to Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. What could I possibly have to say on the subject? I had the realization that I should just tell my story. My family immigrated from Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic in the 50s and 60s. They didn't have much, but they had each other. They valued being together, enjoying making each other laugh. They welcomed anyone into their home like they were family, and they worked hard to provide opportunity for the next generation. In thinking about the sacrifices that my family made, I realized that I am my family's and my ancestors' wildest dreams. My family is very creative in various ways, but they didn't have the opportunity or the realization that maybe they could work in creative fields. They worked hard and provided me the opportunity to pursue a creative career. I boiled my family experiences down to four main values. Family. Being together was so important. If we had anything, it was each other, and nothing else really mattered. Joy. Taking pleasure in the simple things. We didn't need extravagant vacations or fancy cars. My grandfather would say, "I feel like a millionaire," if he had a comfortable seat and a nice glass of orange juice. Warmth. We welcomed all outsiders like they were one of us. There was always an extra plate of food or a seat at the table for anyone that came by. Hard work. I learned the value of hard work, especially from my grandfather. A legally blind immigrant with not much education, he worked as a delivery man for a New York City jewelry store. Getting robbed at gunpoint and knife point was not uncommon for him. Later on, he became a janitor. He took great pride in his work, and he taught me that the lazy man works twice. My grandfather didn't have a real estate portfolio, or stocks, or 401k. These values are my inheritance, and it's my honor to share my inheritance with the world through this work. Music is a big part of my creative process. I've always had music playing when I work, and sometimes I can't start a project unless I have the perfect playlist or album to listen to. As I was beginning this project, I was listening to an album by a group called Black Sugar. They have a song called Fuego. The chorus repeats Fuego pa'lante, nunca pa' atrás, which translates to fire ahead, never go backwards. This chorus reminded me of the phrase siempre pa'lante, nunca pa' atrás, which translates to always forward, never backwards. It was perfect. Siempre pa'lante, nunca pa' atrás sums up everything my family did to put me into the position I'm in today. I felt that it reflected the Hispanic American experience and broader immigrant experience as well. Working hard to help the next generation succeed. Not taking anything from anyone, not preventing others from succeeding, just working to help push the next generation to a better life. When shortened to simply siempre pa'lante, the phrase captures both the immigrant experience and the ethos of what Trimet does every day. Pushing the next generation forward through shared values, and Trimet moving people forward in their daily lives. In addition to looking to my instilled family values as a source of inspiration, I looked to my life experience for visual direction for this project. Blocky type of the Fania record label logo, home of some of the greatest Latin music ever produced. Picasso's cubic representations of people. Colors of bodega storefronts. Peeling stickers and wheat paste posters of the walls of NYC. My kids' drawings, how free they are with creating, the energy that their drawings have. Brito's use of pattern, and textiles of the indigenous peoples all around Latin America. I wanted to inspire creativity in others through the visuals on this project. I didn't want the art to be intimidating. I wanted someone to see the work and say, I can do that too. The people are made up of repeated shapes and themes, inspired by kids' drawings, risograph textures, and framed by bus window shapes. They share the same features, but they all look very different from each other. The Siempre Pa'lante wordmark was meant to be modular so that it fit anywhere on the bus. It appears to be moving and is inspired by that blocky type I mentioned before from the Fania logo. I created the type in Illustrator and moved quickly. I didn't want to get too caught up in spacing. I felt like slight imperfections throughout the entire design would lower the bar to entry and give the project energy. Next, I created textures and patterns. These represent all the different backgrounds of Hispanic Americans, the native textiles, and the flashing bodega storefront lights I saw growing up as a kid in New York. I created a pattern of the instilled values with custom blocky type. The repetition drives home the core of the project, the values that got me here, the values that will push the next generation forward. Once I had all the pieces in place, I played around with arrangement. The art was meant to be modular because I didn't quite know how it would fit on the bus. This allowed me to play Tetris with the pieces once I got the bus template. This is the first time in my life I got 0 notes, no feedback, period. Move forward. No jazz it up, no make it pop. And if you're in New York, no zhuzh it up. This project was deeply personal to me. I've never teared up when presenting to a client, but Letitia Kleinberg from Trimet and I both were a little emotional when I went through this for the first time. The theme of sacrifice and instilled values moving us forward hits home for anyone that comes from an immigrant background. After a few delays, I got the art into the template. It was the most fun game of Tetris to figure out what went where, but the final project had that peeling sticker wheat paste look I was initially inspired by. So, as a person obsessed with brand, I couldn't just leave this design on the bus. I saw the potential for a greater purpose. I wanted to make a bigger impact on my community with this message. I built the website HaveYouSeenThisBus.com that told the story behind the bus's inspiration and invited visitors to connect with me via email. I created a limited run swag kit and held an in-person giveaway at a local boutique. It was an amazing opportunity to connect with the Latino community of Portland. My hope is that any artist that works with Trimet in the future might be able to use my approach as a template to amplify their work and connect with the community in person. This project was about me sharing my inheritance with the Portland community, bringing joy, and inspiring the next generation, Hispanic or not, to pursue creativity. I just wanted to say thank you to Letitia Kleinberg from Trimet, who was my greatest champion in this project and such a great person to collaborate with, Bruno Lopez Vargas for the animation, and Ivana Ramos for the photography.
Nunca para atrás, vamos para adelante.